Hi Brooke, it's Randy here from Randy Cycle Service. What you're looking at here is all the pieces and parts of your BSA. We took the good motor, first of all. That was the one that you sort of knew went with the bike, that had the new pistons in it, and pulled it down. I think it was the best candidate, and I'll explain that here in a minute as to why. Somebody had been into this motor before. Obviously they did the top end, but they also pulled the crankshaft out of it at one time or another, and I found out why, and I'll show you that in a separate video as well. It was a relatively clean motor inside. Didn't look like it had a lot of miles on it. No real wear to speak of. Transmission was in excellent shape. All the gears are laying back here for that. Standard bearings in the bottom end. The end thrust was pretty good in it. I'm going to reshim that and get that 100%. Clutch was in reasonably good shape as well. Cam didn't show any odd wear. It obviously has not been started since that set of 20 over pistons was put in it, and we're going to measure and make sure that they're spot on with the bore on that. The one thing that I did notice in this, though, is that whoever reassembled it didn't understand the concept of locking tab washers, because every one of them, the sprocket included, or countershaft sprocket, but the oil pump drive gear, kickstart tab, all that sort of stuff had been taken loose. When they put it back together, they never folded any of the lock tabs over. Some things were a little bit loose in there as well, so fortunately it's probably good they didn't get it running and we went ahead and went through it here. So it's going to make a really nice motor. No surprise finds in there, nothing shocking, nothing broken, which is good. Obviously make it a great candidate to make you a good reliable motor out of. So I'm going to shoot you another video here in a minute of the crankshaft and let you know what I found there. Alright, what we've got here is your crankshaft out of your BSA. I'm pretty sure the reason they went into the bottom end of that engine was to clean the sludge trap. What I found rather amusing was they sort of cleaned it, and they went through all that work, but they didn't do it right, and I'll show you why. Obviously put the old original style plug back in it again. Get it to focus here. And these original plugs are a flat screw. The new ones that we replace them with are an Allen head, which is a much better fix for them. And they Loctited the crankshaft bolt, the flyweight bolt that also holds the sludge trap in place, which was a bad idea too. You don't want Loctite on that. It's not a good thing to do. But the big thing they did is when they went in here to clean it out, they didn't actually pull the trap itself. It looks like they just cleaned the inside of it. The hollow portion that they could see through there, probably not knowing. Obviously it's kind of dark in there, but that's still fairly well sludged up, and you can see some of the remnants of that on the outside as well. So it's a good thing we went in there. Definitely, you know, would have had a little bit of fuzz left in there, and we don't want any of that in your motor, especially your nicely rebuilt motor. But you can see all the journals are in excellent shape. Everything is really good, nice, clean, standard. So this will make a good one again. Like I said, we'll build you a nice motor out of this. So anyway, just wanted to update you on that good stuff, and we'll be in touch with all the other details. Thanks again. Hi Brooke. Wanted to show you this other engine that we decided not to use. The reason for not using it was that I kind of assessed everything before we took anything apart, and what I did on each engine was I went up through the oil sump screen in the bottom and snuck the left connecting rod out of each one. But what I found in this one, and again this was a questionable motor we didn't know anything about, but I'm glad I went ahead and did it that way first before we completely stripped it down. What I've got is I pulled the left connecting rod, I've got it in my hand here, and I actually cleaned it all up just so you could see a little better, and it's going to be very hard to see in this light. What happened was it had beat on the connecting rod enough, I think it probably either lost oil pressure at one time or something of that nature, and what it did, it's no longer round is the best way to describe it. It is ovaled a little bit. You can't see it obviously, but by measuring it we can. And there's a little portion of the metal that's kind of where the oil hole in the bearing was is kind of raised now because that bearing pounded into the rod cap. Again, I can't really get this thing to focus so you can see it really well. Maybe right there. Let's try that. Sorta. You can kind of see it right in the center there. But at any rate, we don't want to trust that, because then we'd have to grind a crankshaft and go through all that, which obviously can be fixed. But in the situation we've got here, we know we've got a good bottom end in the other engine that's in really excellent shape, comparatively speaking, and it apparently was running at some point. This one we don't know anything about, really, just given the fact that it kind of looks a little rough and it's a lot dirtier inside. The sump screen, and there's the old bearings as well, was pretty full of goo as well. So again, like I said, the other engine was a much better candidate, and that's what we're going to go with, and that'll make you a great motor. So there you have it.